There you go. Yeah, thank you, Melanie, for joining us.
Thank you. Delighted to be here.
Yeah. And how are you today?
I'm really well. Well, I'm a bit dodgy actually. I'm going to be honest. My son, who's 9, had a little bit of an issue happen at his school yesterday, which really upset him. Bless him. So he went to bed really upset last night. So I went to bed really upset last night. So I'm a little bit jaded. Had to go in. I I hijacked the deputy head on his way in. I laid in wait for him this morning, and we literally got him as he walked parked the car at some ungodly hour this morning. So James, that's it. Come on, we're going to school. We're going to talk to this man, and it's all been sorted. As far as I know, satisfactorily. But it's always a worry, isn't it? When you've got children, you want them to be happy, and yeah. So it was a little bit fraught this morning, a little bit of an earlier start than we're used to. But other than that, it's turned out pretty good.
Yeah, no, yes. Hopefully it's going better now.
Yeah, well, we should. It's one of those things, I'll probably get butterflies in my tummy at about 2 o'clock when I have to be getting myself ready to go pick him up at 3. And I'll be seeing the teachers on the school gate. And I did say this morning, there better be some good news for me when I come, because otherwise it's going to be trouble. And they're looking at me and thinking, yeah, don't even. So yeah, I'm sure it will all be fine. But it's one of those things, isn't it? Life goes on, but they did something really, really bad yesterday. I won't go into on here. It's not a story for here, but it's when you come away sometimes you're thinking, did that really happen in today's society? This is a primary school. Did that really happen? Anyway, yeah, fingers crossed it's all been sorted now. So it's all a bit
yeah.
So if I've got a bit of a twitch, you'll have to forgive me.
No, it's fine. Now, in your description, you're a multi-award winning filmmaker, because you had a film recently called Scootch.
That's right. Yeah. How that happened, it's quite a funny story, I suppose. I create video for business, and I help businesses with their message, and I've done a lot of filming for business. And when lockdown happened, obviously I thought, oh my God, because it was a large part of my income that was suddenly cut off. Suddenly I couldn't see people, I couldn't go into business, I couldn't. And so I thought, oh my goodness, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? I'm a video creator. I can't do it anymore. What am I going to do? And so I did what a lot of people did, and I pivoted, and I then started doing a lot of editing. I actually picked up quite a lot of international clients during that time.
Wow.
And I edit speaker reels and book reels for people in the US and Canada mainly. And that has been a lifeline. And I also got involved with short form animations as well. And I learned how to do animation and use sort of templates and things very, very quickly. And that also is something I thought I would never do, but expanding my skill set has proved to be invaluable, because now not only can I offer another service now to people who need it, it's been fun as well. And I was able to unleash my creativity. But being a creative, I thrive around other people. I found the lockdowns, I think, like a lot of people, tremendously lonely. And it's not good for me. I'm a very sociable person. So I was looking at the filming regulations and the guidelines, and as soon as they got lifted, which I think was towards the end of lockdown 3, when crews could go back out again and film, even though other places were still locked down and venues were locked down, we could go in and film even if they were shut to the public. And I got a crew together. I used to do a radio show at my local radio station. I got a crew together, and I said, who wants to make a film with me? If we make a film, we can go out. We can go out. We can meet in person. We're allowed. If we go out, if you're in it, you don't necessarily have to wear a mask. If you crew, you do. We had a very strict COVID procedure that we adhered to. I said, but we can get out. And I said, who wants to come and play with me? I said, to which a lot of people said, I will. I think people were desperate to see other people by this point. So I got a few of my friends involved. It was a zero budget film. And I said, look, let's do something locally. We filmed it all in High Wycombe, which is local to me. I'm from Maidenhead. And let's make it a feel-good piece. I said, I do not want it to be a conscience piece. I've had enough of that. I've seen doom and gloom. There's a lot of films in film festivals that are conscience pieces. I said, don't want that. I said, it's got to be a comedy. And it's got to be a bit ridiculous. I said, it's got to be a cross between like Carry On and an Ealing comedy. That's kind of I said, it's got to be funny and it's got to be British. It's got to be ridiculous. So that was kind of the brief. So I got a couple of friends on board who wrote the script, and the local amateur dramatics group came and provided me with a lot of the extras bodies that I needed. And the Zip e-scooters, big shout out to them, because they sponsored us and provided us with 3 e-scooters for 3 days for our film, and they were absolutely marvelous. And we basically ran right in High Wycombe for 4.5 days and put this little short film together. And I said to the guys, I'll put it into a film festival or 2 just to see what happens, because you never know. And yes, we've got 19 awards.
Wow.
Globally. Yeah, I put it out for a year. So on my Facebook, shamelessly on my personal Facebook page, you'll see my banner with wreaths everywhere. I was running out of room to put them all over. So I'm very, very proud of that, and I'm very proud of the team. We're still all good friends today, everybody that made that film, and a lot of them I'd never met before. And it was tremendous fun. And I think that one of the reasons it did so well is because people were ready to see other people at that point, and we just all bonded very, very quickly, very, very well. And the energy was just so wonderful on set, and we just got everything done that we needed to very, very quick. So we shot it in 4.5 days. It was brilliant. And the guy who did our camera work, young guy, he was absolutely amazing. And he got his first job when we got our first set of laurels come through and our first win. He got a really good job as head of videography for a really nice luxury menswear brand. Wow. And I do feel that we had a little part to play in that, because he's got kudos to his name now. He's a multi-award winning filmmaker. It's great on his CV, but I mean, he was phenomenal. I'd love to work with him one day if I get the chance, because he just has such a great eye for the shot. He was just amazing. But they were all amazing to work with. And a young guy who did our sound, who was a young guy who'd never done music for film before. And I said, do you want to give it a bash? And he said, I'll give it a bash. And again, he was very technical, very musical, talking to me in very technical language. And I had to say to him, I have not got a clue what you just said. You could be kids talking Greek. I didn't understand a word of that. I said, but what I want, bearing in mind this kid's barely 20, in his early 20s. And I said, it's got to sound, this is what the whole vibe of things is, it's got to sound like a cross between the Sweeney and 70s porn. That was his brief, right? And of course, because he was so young, he was like, what? What's a Sweeney? And I was like, right, Google it, but be really careful about Googling the second part. But this is the vibe that I'm going.
Yeah.
Anyway, he pulled it out of the hat brilliantly.
Wow.
He just gave me everything I wanted above and beyond. There's a young lad called Aaron Harker, and he is from Aaron Harker Music. Anybody wants music for their video piece, film piece, commercial piece, or he does DJing as well, go check out Aaron Harker Music. He is one of the most phenomenal guys that I know, because he took direction really, really well. And I was very vague, because I didn't really know how. I had it in my head of how I wanted it to sound, but trying to convey that to somebody who is very technical, very musical, was quite difficult. But he did over and above. It's stunning what he produced for us. It really was, and it works so well.
Wow. So you kind of launched some careers with
that. I sincerely hope so. And we had quite a few young people on the set, and if I can help them get on their way, that's what I'm passionate about. I was involved recently in the launch of Screen Skills Berkshire, which is an initiative that is helping young people and also people who are looking to change their careers get into the film industry, especially in the back end. There's a massive skills gap in the film industry at the moment. So, if you are a carpenter, electrician, painter, set builder, anything like that, they're crying out for people like you. And there's a lot of opportunities to be had. We were over at Shinfield for the day, and Shinfield Studios, a new studios just outside of Reading, is massive. It's going to be bigger than Shepperton, I think, when it's completed, and that's massive. And it's going to be fully operational, I think they said April next year, 2024, but it's going to be huge. And it was amazing to be in that space. I mean, oh my God, it was huge, and it was amazing to be on a massive, great big warehouse film type set. It was awesome. So there are huge opportunities out there for people who want to get into the film industry, and programs like Screen Skills Berkshire are just one of many programs that help people do that. And I'm very passionate about it. I don't think we'd be anywhere without good movies to watch. We all enjoy watching our favorite TV series or film on Netflix or Amazon or whatever we're watching, and it provides you with the relief from the day to day. We all get absorbed in those stories, don't we? And if those don't happen, a lot of people are needed to make those things happen. It's not just the actors and the writers. There are hundreds of people behind the scenes whose technical skills are needed to bring all of that to life, and also the production crew afterwards in the post-production part of the process too.
Yeah, absolutely. So what's your journey? How did you get here?
Gosh, it's a bit of a weird one, really, and I don't know how far back you want me to start. But when I was 16, I experienced quite a bit of trauma in the fact that my father dropped dead unexpectedly at work. He had been ill. We didn't know it at the time, and my mother was on the phone to him when he collapsed at work. And it was in the summer holidays, or just before the summer holidays, and that kind of changed everything for me, because it happened right at the beginning of my GCSEs, right at the beginning. And my school, although it was a Christian school, were not accommodating to me at all. The only concession they made to me was that they'd put me in a room on my own to do my exams. And I had to sit my maths GCSE the morning after my father's funeral. And it didn't, I remember feeling I was in trauma for losing my dad. I'm an only child. My dad and I were close. We were a close family. They gave you all this big spiel at the beginning about, if anything happens, we don't want you to stress about your exams. If anything really bad happens, you don't have to sit your exams. You can come and take the resits in the November or whenever it was that they were going to do them. I was told I had to come in, and I had to be there, and I had to do it. And I remember being so angry at the time, and I didn't fill in any of my maths GCSE paper. I think I put my name on the top and then maybe an expletive, and this is just shit or something like that. If I can say that, I have to bleed that out. And I couldn't believe that they'd made me sit there on my own to go through all of this. So obviously, when I got my results, they weren't particularly good. I think I only got about 3 GCSEs before this happened. And when the results came out, I didn't really know what I wanted to do. I knew I didn't want to go back, and I didn't want to set foot in another school ever again. I have to be honest. So my mum, I actually ended up going to a finishing school in Kensington, Gloucester Road, Lucy Clayton, where I learned, they taught you how to be a young lady, and I was taught how to do my makeup and how to put on a coat and get out of the car elegantly and all that. But we also had the, typing, shorthand and all that as well. And my mum's rationale was, you'll never starve. If you can type and you can do shorthand, you'll always be able to temp in between whatever it is you want to do. You'll always earn money. You know, you'll have the capacity to earn some money. So I thought, oh, yeah, right, whatever. So I went there. I had a fabulous year because we did things at that college that were really hilarious. But I came out of that year a lot more confident, which was great. But I then went into the secretarial admin role, which I didn't want at a company I didn't really want to work for, in the finance department of all places. We're talking only about finance, you know, and I stayed there for a couple of years. And then that kind of rolled on through my career as I worked up the corporate ladder. And the last job that I had after 25 years in the administrative side of industry was with the Walt Disney Company, which I enjoyed. I was there for quite a long time. And when I left there, I was very, very fortunate. There was a big management restructure, and I was offered to take voluntary redundancy at a time when I had just realised that I was pregnant with my son. So I knew when I'd wanted a child for years and years and years. I came to motherhood fairly late, so 38 when my son was born. And I knew that I wanted to be a mum. And I certainly knew that I didn't want to pay anybody else to raise my child. And there's no way I was going to pay for childcare and have the stress and strain of travelling all the way into London and back out again, because I knew it would kill me. It would, you know, suck out what was left of the rest of my soul. So I had a huge opportunity to be able to be offered a very large sum of money to walk away, which I readily accepted. It was the right time for me to go at that time. And then I was able to just sit and think about what it was I wanted to do. And as a lot of new mums listening to this will probably relate to, I got found by a network marketing company, an MLM product company, of which there are many, and they seem to be able to smell new mums a mile off. So I got targeted for this, excuse me. And so that's what I did. I got myself talked into this multi-level marketing scheme, and I have to admit I still do it in the background because the products are fabulous, but I'm not a hardcore salesperson. So as a business I didn't do very well at it because I didn't really want to do it, and I certainly wasn't going to hard sell anybody. So that was a bit, you know, fiddling. When I left Disney, I was in the process of putting together a huge ice gala for charity, for Walking with the Wounded, Prince Harry's charity. So I put that on. I was 6 months pregnant when that came live, and we had the whole gala show. And I think I'm one of the few people that have ever made a significant amount of money putting on a show like that. That was my first ice production. Had tremendous feedback. We made money for the charity. And it was a fantastic experience. It was my first experience of really putting on a production myself. Sorry, I have to edit this. I was going to take this water.
No, that's fine.
Frog in my throat. Excuse me. Excuse me. Blimey. So that Heroes on Ice is what it was called. So Heroes on Ice was my first foray into putting on a major production. And I loved it. I loved to entertain people. And I used to be a figure skater. Bracknell, where it was held, was at my home rink at the time. It's no longer there, sadly. And it was a wonderful experience. So then that got me thinking, right, this maybe is something that I should do more in the creative industries. I didn't think that much about it. I was still doing the network marketing, and I joined a networking group, and it's still dabbling in the network marketing. And I joined a mastermind group that was part of this group. And after the first session of going to this mastermind, I went in with one business and came out with a totally new one, because I'd helped some ladies in the group promote their businesses through the use of video storytelling. And it had been really, really popular. The feedback I got was off the chart. And the lady said to me point blank, what are you doing with that, network marketing rubbish? Don't be doing that. You were born to do this. You were born to do this. You're so good at it. And the demand is there. Forget all of that. Do this instead. And I was like, really? Should I? Really? But that's right. I'll give it a go. And my media business was born, and I never looked back. And then I subsequently went on to host my own radio show on local radio, which was a sports show. That went on to win a gold award at the Community Radio Awards for the best sports show with the team. They were absolutely fantastic. And it's just kind of gone from strength to strength. And now I feel like I've found my groove, which is helping others to communicate their stories in the best possible way. I love stories and I love people. You probably tell I love chatting to people and helping people communicate those things either as a story or even communicate with each other better. Because good leadership is a passion of mine, and just getting people to listen to each other and respect each other and kind of build the world a better place, through creative storytelling. There's no better way to do it. Everybody loves a story, don't they?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, there's that phrase, facts tell and stories sell.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Very true. It's very true. Nobody wants to look at a sheet of data unless you're in a particular type of job. And I'm sure there are people out there, not to offend people out there, who do love data and numbers and analytics. But if you want to sell something, anything, you need to draw on the emotions. As human beings, the way our brain works, we make decisions with emotion first and foremost above anything else. It's a few seconds before our rational part of our brain kicks in and analyzes that emotion and turns it into a decision of, yes, we want to do that thing, or no, we don't, or let's have a little bit more of a think about that thing. But predominantly we're led by emotions, which is why when I talk about video marketing and I talk about creating a good video, I always talk about the importance of music. And somebody, should you have music in it? Yes, you should, even if you're in a talking head, because music is what adds the emotional pull. And if you've got a soundtrack to what you're trying to do, depending on what message you're trying to convey, it really packs a punch, whether it is soft and relaxing, or whether it's a little bit more dynamic and you want someone to take action. It's really, really important. And it's why that you will never, ever, 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 or hardly ever see an advert that's either on the internet or on TV that does not have music to it.
Yeah, very true.
The words sometimes are less important. You don't get ads where people are rabbiting away. You get a strong soundtrack, you get really strong visuals, and you may get a bit of audio commentary or a bit of text overlay over the top. But predominantly they're drawing you into the eyes and the ears to get that emotional connection to that thing that makes you think, oh, I want that car, or I want that, I've got to have that burger now, or whatever it is, to pull you in, to reel you in, to take that next step along the customer journey.
So I guess, these days you've got short form video.
Yeah.
Reels, TikToks.
Yeah.
Do you help with those platforms, or help people with videos on those platforms, or do you prefer other platforms?
I prefer other platforms, because there's two types of video. There's the personal video, for which, like, personal branding that ties into your professional branding. But TikToks and Instagram Reels are great for those sorts of things because they're fun, funky, and short. And people want to see. That's where people really want to see the face behind the brand, and that's the platform for that. Whereas on other platforms such as YouTube or Facebook and LinkedIn, possibly, you want a mix of different videos, because again, talking heads are boring after a while. Nobody really wants to see somebody rabbiting on all the time unless they are extremely, extremely interesting, and the topic is extremely, extremely interesting, which is quite rare that you'd get that all the way through. So you want to mix up the content. You can mix it up by doing your wacky TikToks, and that doesn't have to be dancing and, you know, whatever. But you have to have, with all of these things, you have to have a strategy behind it. What are you trying to achieve with it? Because just going nuts on TikTok, it might get you a few thousand followers, but they might not be the right ones. You know, if you're using it as a business platform, you have to have a very clear strategy of what video you're going to put on what platform, how they're all going to tie together, and what actions you want your customers or clients to take at the end of watching that. And again, TikTok, you know, it doesn't convert per se. You need to point them to some, you know, your followers to somewhere else where they're going to get a link or whatever to be able to go through a bit of a journey. So it's kind of, TikTok and Instagram might be a presence, and you might have your, you know, link in your bio for whatever thing it is you're trying to push at the time. But ultimately, you want to push them to a website. You want to push them to another profile to get them to that point of action. So it's kind of like a shop window. What do you want to display on those shop windows? You know, because if somebody's checking you out, you know, these days they will check you out on, you know, YouTube, on Instagram, on TikTok, on wherever it is. So you need to have a strategy that fits in with your overall marketing strategy of exactly what point you're trying to make, or what, you know, are you a fun funky brand, so you're going to put these fun funky TikToks out, you know, and get that essence of your brand, or are you a bit more serious, or are you going to deliver, you know, a little bit more educational stuff that you're going to put up on YouTube or wherever. So you need to find out where you fit in the space and how best is going to achieve whatever results that you want.
Yeah, that makes sense. And in terms of like kit, professional kit, for your videos, say on YouTube and say LinkedIn, do you recommend more professional tools? Like, for example, on Reels, you can use your phone and use your iPhone or your Android for those.
Audio quality is really important. It's nothing worse that will kill anything faster than bad audio. Now, we live in a tremendously fantastic age. We are so lucky that we have all of these tools at our disposal. We have got free advertising at our disposal, left, right, and centre. You know, you've touched on it. Free advertising, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, LinkedIn, YouTube. It's all free. You can promote yourself left, right, and centre. Mobile phones these days are getting better and better quality. The camera quality is getting better and better. The microphone quality is getting better and better. But on Amazon, you can buy some really fantastic pieces of kit that don't need to break the bank. If you're going to be a podcaster or recorder, yes, have a fairly decent microphone. The one that I'm using at the moment is like a Yeti Blue. That costs what, £100 from Amazon? So it's not going to break the bank. I bought a microphone again, I think it's about £100-ish, which is a clip-on wireless mic that links up to my phone, so that when I'm out and about, I have my microphone that actually deadens any wind sound, any background noise. So if I'm out broadcasting, I've got really clear sound. So you can get really clear sound on your mobile by buying a little wireless lapel mic, and it doesn't have to cost you the fortune. And keep if you're on Amazon Prime, keep your eye on the Amazon Prime days, on the you know, Black Friday deals and things when they come around, because sometimes these things are half price. So it doesn't have to cost you a fortune. Something that I have from my broadcasting days, but again from Amazon, is a pop shield. If you can, that's not going to see on the camera, pop shield. That you put in front of your microphone. Now that's a very essential piece of kit to getting good audio, and it costs about £10. Amazon, that will clip onto your microphone or your table, and you can position it over your mic. Very few pieces of kit. I've got a lovely 4K broadcast quality camera that cost a couple of £100. A Logitech one that again I bought from Amazon. It doesn't necessarily need to cost you a fortune, but you invest in a few pieces of kit and you will raise the game above you and perhaps what somebody else is doing if you're a small business.
Yes.
You know, and the better quality sound you have and the better picture quality you have, people can get distracted by poor visuals, by poor sound. So if you can do it one better by investing a couple of £100 in a piece of kit, and a friend of mine, Mark Bowden, did a great video on comparing these sort of USB cameras, which is the best, you know, is the, you know, £2,000-3,000 one any better than the £200 one? Actually, no, it's not. And I think the one that came out best was the one that I bought, which is about a couple of £100. So you don't have to, you know, invest in the top end kit, especially if you don't really know what to do with it. There's no point in you investing in that sort of money in that sort of kit if you really don't know how to use it. Learn how to use it and upgrade as you go if that's what you want to do, by all means, but start off small, get to know what you're doing, and then start to upgrade and do what you need to do. Would be my advice. You know, you don't need to throw tons of money at it, and if you're doing, you know, home recording, then lighting is really important as well. And again, you don't need lights that cost you a fortune. You just need to know what you're doing with it. Where should your light be positioned? Can you put a scarf or a coloured scarf over to give you a bit of a glow? Ladies, pink is the thing. If you can put a little sort of pink or red scarf over a light and get that lovely sort of pinkish light, that it does wonders for the skin and make you look 20 years younger. You know, you can get these effects with kind of as a table lamps. Obviously, just be careful if you're going to put scarves over a table, you don't want it to catch fire. But you know, research some of these things, because YouTube is a fantastic place for tutorials. There's a lot of lighting experts, sound experts out there who love talking about what they do, and that's who we interview as part of creatives. We love to talk to creative people about what they love to do. There's a lot of people talking about what they love to do on YouTube, and you get the advice for free. You know, so experiment. It's all about experimentation. Get that light, learn how to do that lighting effect with a, you know, a side light shining from maybe this side, or angle poise lamp pointing at a particular direction. Get yourself a half decent microphone and you're away.
Yeah, great advice. Great advice. Do you think the direction of travel at the moment is towards video, and text, for example, and copy is becoming less important? Or do you think?
No. Well, it depends what platform. It depends what platform. I would love to see more of a shift towards video, but I'm incredibly biased. But people, the thing you have to remember is that people consume content in different ways. So yes, I'm a big fan of video, but not everybody is. And if you're going to be inclusive in your brand, you know, you need to mix it up. You need to be producing short form video, maybe longer form video. You need to be producing short form text, longer form text. You know, you need to make sure that you're putting the alt text on your videos and pictures. You know, LinkedIn loves still static imagery. A video won't do as well on LinkedIn as a static photograph. Drives me absolutely bonkers, by the way, LinkedIn. Yeah. I have mentioned it to them several times. But that LinkedIn still seems to really like quite long form text with an image. That's what kind of gets pushed. And again, with a lot of these things, the algorithm seems to change. Like Facebook loves video, you know, Instagram, obviously, they have a big push towards video, and Reels especially at the moment. So it's kind of, if you're going to go out on a platform, again, a lot of the whole marketing thing is doing your research. Where are your customers, your ideal clients? Where do they hang out the most? Are they on Instagram? Are they on Facebook? Are they on LinkedIn? Where are they? What do they want to see? Do they want to read text? Do they want to watch a video? Do they want to, you know, make sure your videos are captioned and all that kind of jazz? What do they want? Because once you tap into what they want, you're there, really.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, because otherwise you're just spouting a lot of stuff, and if you're not playing to the right audience, then it's wasted.
Absolutely. I mean, you do with your clients. Obviously, you go over their branding. I guess that's the first the first step, I'd imagine.
Yeah.
Of anything. What are the main mistakes you see businesses making, small businesses making, when it comes to their branding? Like the one that comes up again and again.
There's a really fabulous chap called Daniel J. Moore. I'll give him a shout out, from Iron Dragon Design.
Oh yeah, I've interviewed him.
He talks about this a lot.
Yeah.
And it's when people think about brand, I would say think about brand as being like a logo. You slap a logo on and you have it in a particular color and you've chosen your font. You think, right, that's it, I'm branded. It's not about that. Daniel talks a lot about, brand essence and a brand story, and knowing, and it all comes back to story. It comes back to knowing why you're doing what you're doing, what impact you want to have on the world, and how you are going to portray that sort of outwardly facing. And that's all part of it, your colors and I think Daniel has a really great question asking people what their brand smell. If your brand has a smell, what would it smell like? And that, again, that invokes the memories and the things that they liked as a child, or the things that are important to them. And that all gets fed back into the brand story and the brand values and what's important to them. Because if you don't know those things, just you're nothing, really. You need to have your brand story. You need to have your personal brand as part of that. Once you've got you straight and your values and the values of your business and what you want to portray and who you're there to help, and be very, very clear on those things, then a lot of the other stuff comes a lot more naturally, because you've got a very clear direction of who you are, what you're about. Then comes the things like, what colors best portray that, what fonts portray that, how do I want to be seen to the outer world. It's much easier to create stories around that once you've got those building blocks, the foundations in place. You can't build a house on the sand. You've got to be able to start with a structure. And a lot of people, I think, when they go into business for themselves, they think, oh great, I'm not restricted by the corporate ideology anymore. I could just do this, I can do what I like, and I've got woohoo freedom. But routine and boundaries kind of set you free. You have to still have that structure. And even if you're a creative, you can have all these great ideas, but you still have to have the structure of your business idea. I'm going to do this, it's going to change the world, it's going to be epic. Yeah, fantastic. But how are you actually going to get there? What is it about you? Because none of us are really original, are we? We all do things, and there's a million people doing what I do, there's a million people doing what you do. How are you doing that thing differently to everybody else? What are people saying about you behind your back? Have people had a good experience speaking to you and having that first interaction with you, or have they gone away thinking, oh my god, she's a bit much, I don't like that? That's all part of it. How do you want people to interact with you and your brand? What's your story?
Yeah, makes sense.
And that's half of it. And a lot of people, if you're coming at a brand, I'm starting my business because I don't want to work for corporate anymore, I just want to make tons of money. Yeah, well, wouldn't we all? But that's not really the reason why you should be doing it. You need to have a message. Poppy Perry Media, I want to create great visuals for people in business who've got a story to tell. And if they are having trouble with that story, I want to help them get it out. I like to help people shine their light, which is also feeds into my other business of creatives. We support and amplify other creatives in their creative businesses. And that's what brings out the glow in me. I love to amplify other people. I love to hear people's stories. I love to share those stories. And, you'll hear it in this podcast. I've mentioned quite a few people throughout this podcast who I feel are absolutely tremendously brilliant people. And that's what I'm about. I love people, and I love to amplify people, and I love to see people succeed and be the best that they can be. And some people need a little bit of help getting that out, especially if they've changed direction, and especially from a corporate career, because I think corporate can kind of stifle you to a degree, because you spent so long towing the line, and I have to say this and I can't say that, and I must do this and I've got to do it in this way because that's the company rule. And you go out into business for yourself and you're still kind of talking in that way. It takes a while to flip that mental switch that actually you're not talking as the company anymore, or even if you're in your own business, you're not talking as the business, you're talking as you, the person, because that's what you need as a business. They need to know you, the person, and what your values are and what you stand for. You know, you'll see me posting on social media about sort of diversity. I get involved with a lot of diversity. There are a lot of screen and storytelling things with the Screen Berkshire, you know, supporting youngsters coming up in the film industry. On our podcast that we have, On the Couch with Creatives, the one thing that all of our creatives guests do, have to give 3 top tips for the up and coming generation. You know, what do you wish you had known? If anybody's listening, what value can you give to those people coming up? You know, that's what I love. It's about value. It's about leaving somebody, I guess for me, leaving somebody a little bit better off after they've met you than they were before. Whether it's just like a little, whether it's a smile, or think, oh, she's hilarious, she wouldn't shut up, or whether it's oh gosh, she told me that thing that was really useful, I'm going to go try that, or I'm going to go and look at this. You know, if you can provide just a little bit of value to somebody's day and leave them in a better place, then that's kind of my reason for being, really. I would like to think that I touch people's lives in a positive way, and that they feel better after meeting me than if they hadn't met me at all.
Yeah. Wow. That's amazing. That's amazing. Just curious, are there any brands, like big brands, you think have nailed it? They've really kind of you know, done it perfectly, or any rebrands that maybe didn't work? Right?
Well,
on the opposite.
There are a couple of brands that I really hate. I don't know if I can say this, but you know, I'll probably get into all sorts of trouble. A brand that I really can't stand is Abercrombie and Fitch. I hate everything that they stand for. I hate their CEO that was, I don't think he's in charge now, but it's totally toxic from my point of view. I know that they have had management change a few years ago, and maybe things are a bit different, but I don't subscribe to their brand at all, and I never will. It's gone so toxic for me that it's something I would not touch with a 10-foot barge pole. Brand that I love, and this is not just because I'm an ex-employee, but Disney. You know, everybody knows what Disney stands for.
Oh yeah.
Kids love Disney. Disney, you cannot help but smile when you have seen a Disney movie. It brings the magic. They bring magic to the world, whether you like it or not. Some people I know, you know, don't like Disney for whatever reason, but they are real magic makers.
Yeah.
And as a brand, you know exactly who they are. You know exactly what they stand for. And I love that. And I love being part of the magic. And I love watching Disney movies. And to me, they're one of the best. They'll always be one of the best. Virgin, again, another company that I've had the privilege to work for. Again, fantastic brand. You know, Richard Branson, you know what he stands for. He's been vocal enough about it. They're very much for their people. And I love that about Virgin. Again, it's a really, really strong brand. I don't like brands that pertain to be really better than everybody else, which is why I don't like Abercrombie and Fitch. I like brands that are inclusive and value their people. I think for me, that is a hugely important thing, and I think that's why part of why Scootch did so well, because we put together, and why Heroes and Ice did so well. I'm very good at putting together the right team of people, and brands that do that are ones that I naturally gravitate towards. The brands that kind of make people feel better, make the world a little bit of a better place. You know, BA, British Airways, is another brand I don't particularly like. They haven't got a good reputation. They don't treat their people particularly well. They don't treat their passengers particularly well. You know, I've had more than one run in with them in my time. So brands that really value the customer experience are brands that are really important to me.
Absolutely. Do you have any thoughts on the Twitter rebrand?
Why? 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 I think that just about sums it up, really. In the name of God, why? I can't say I particularly like the logo. If everybody still calls it Twitter, whenever I'm talking about it, oh, I just see on Twitter, it's called X now. You know, I mean, it was such a big brand that to literally just overnight, now it's called something else. I mean, I suppose in a while we will all get used to it, but it's just like, oh my Lord. Yeah.
Okay.
What else can you say about it, really?
Right. So we'll move on swiftly then to the smash hits type questions.
Yeah, go on then.
So first off is what is your favorite food?
Oh,
you know, if you're
lasagna.
going
Yeah, I love lasagna.
Oh, yes.
Especially the one made by my mum.
Yeah, not the pre-packaged stuff.
No, proper lasagna.
That'd be proper home cooked.
Yeah.
Mother cooked.
Mother cooked,
lasagna.
yeah. Brilliant lasagna, yeah. It's got to be my favourite.
Well, favourite music.
Favorite music. Now, this is a tough one for me because I like lots of different music, but I'm obsessed with the music from the show, the Greatest Show with Jackman.
Yeah.
There are a couple of songs in there that just really speak to me. The Greatest Show is one. I love that. I have that, you know, when I need my spirits if I have that blaring out. This Is Me is one that's I really feel as well. So yeah, so songs from that show are really, yeah, you'll find me playing them at high volume all over the place.
Yeah. My wife loves that film.
Yeah,
and she loves the soundtrack. So yeah, I know what you mean. A favorite, well, this is relevant, favorite film apart from Scootch, obviously.
Apart from Scootch, yeah, which is the best. Go streaming on Vimeo. Yeah,
Vimeo on demand.
On Vimeo on demand. Yeah. Favorite film.
Links in the below.
Excellent. Gosh, favorite film. Again, it's like asking me what my favorite book is. I'm an avid reader and trying to say like favorite book is like, oh my God. Again, I love The Greatest Showman because visually it was just amazing. Life of Pi, absolutely amazing because visually and the story was fantastic. I love a good musical, like the original West Side Story. Fantastic. I love animations as well. So like anything Disney and Pixar, pretty much. I just love all of those. I'm a real baby when it comes to Disney. You know, plonk me in front of a Disney movie, like, you know, animated film, and I'm quite happy.
Fantasia
was brilliant.
Fantasia, do you like that?
Yes.
That's my favorite, I think.
Music was and the concept of it was just fantastic as well.
Yeah.
There's just so many. Yeah, I can't.
Yeah, but he gave us some examples, which is good.
Everything.
Apart from anything related to video and your business, do you have any favorite apps or any favorite bits of tech?
I love the captions app for captioning your TikTok videos and your reels and stuff like that, because it's really quick and easy to use and it's accurate. I only have to tweak it every so often. We on our creatives podcast, we clip up the top tips that our lovely guests tell us about, and then we put them out all over the place for people that might enjoy them. And doing those top tips, getting all edited up, and then just flipping them through the captions app. It's just seconds, it's done. It's like, oh, just saves it, and then I can just upload it straight away to TikTok and Instagram Reels, and I'm done. So that's probably my favourite one.
Yeah. Is it? Do you mean CapCut?
No, I don't. It's called Captions. It's called Captions, and it's
Captions.
on. I don't know if it's on because I have an Apple, so it's on an iOS app. I'm not sure if it's on Google Play. But it's, I mean, CapCut is something similar, but this particular one is called Captions, and
that's called Captions. Okay, yeah, check that out.
Yeah.
And just so going back to yourself and the business, what are the plans for the future? Any future projects you're working on, or is it that you can talk about?
I'm gonna be brave, and I'm gonna put it out there. Business wise, I'm developing the business, or hoping to move the development of the business into more of a production company, and I have 2 projects that are going on in the background. One is a feature film, and one is a children's television series that I'm hoping to get on air. Very, very early days yet, I will be honest. But I'm hoping, God willing, that they will both come to screen. So if they do, that's going to be really, really exciting.
Wow.
Yeah.
Watch this space.
Yeah, because the whole film process, even though Scootch is a short and it nearly killed me, I have to admit, editing it all together, and it took 10 minutes of film, took 4.5 months in post-production, and most of that was sound engineering. And people that said to me, "Oh, would you do it again?" And actually, yes, I would, but I want a much bigger team and a much bigger budget. We didn't have any budget the first time around, so it would be lovely to get it done in a sort of much higher level and a much higher standard. So watch this space, as we say.
Yeah, exciting.
Mm-hmm.
So if someone wants to contact you and they want to learn more about your services, is the recommended way LinkedIn? And
I'm mostly active on LinkedIn. You will find me there. I'm on LinkedIn every day, pretty much. So anyone can follow me I think my handle is at Melanie Ann Perry, or Melanie A. Perry, Melanie Ann Perry, I think. So they can just find me on LinkedIn and connect with me there and send me a DM, or you can email me, melanie@poppyperrymedia.com. Or if you're a creative professional and you think, I would really love to hang out with some other creative professionals and bounce some ideas and see who I can collaborate with, then you can drop me an email at melanie@creatives, which is CR3 8IVES.
Brilliant. Okay, that brings us to the close of our interview. But I think you definitely, as you said before, you like to leave people, better than they were when they started, and they're more knowledgeable, feeling better, etc., etc. I think you've achieved that with this interview.
I'm happy now. You look very happy, so I'm very, very happy. Yeah.
And I think, as I said, I think you've certainly made me kind of think, and made me feel my possibilities have widened and my knowledge has widened. Good. So it's for me, certainly. So I appreciate your time, and maybe we'll have you back on when the future projects take off.
Love to. When I sell it, that's the next thing. I pick up the fact I sold it. Then maybe we'll do a whole new launch thing. But it's been lovely to talk to you. So thank you so much for inviting me on.
Oh, you're very welcome. You're very welcome.